Okay, so check this out. I was literally lying in bed last night at like 11:30 p.m. scrolling through Instagram before going to sleep. Just doing that thing we all do where you tell yourself, just 5 more minutes of social media. But it inevitably turns into an hour of mindlessly scrolling through posts and stories. When suddenly, out of absolutely nowhere, my phone started vibrating like crazy, with notification after notification after notification from ESPN, Bleacher Report, the Idaho Athletic, Yahoo Sports, and like 10 different group chats with my basketball friends, all going absolutely nuts about the exact same story that was breaking in real time. At first, I honestly thought maybe my phone was legitimately glitching or malfunctioning or something, because the notifications were coming in so incredibly fast and furiously that I couldn't even read them properly or process what they were saying. But then I actually stopped and opened one of the notifications carefully and saw it was about the Los Angeles Lakers and some potentially massive franchise-altering roster developments and trade rumors that absolutely nobody saw coming or anticipated. Hey, what's up, everyone? Before we jump into this massive Lakers news, I just want to ask you for a quick favor that would mean the world to me. If you could just take 1 second right now and hit that like button, it would be incredibly important to me and helps this channel grow so much. I know it seems like a small thing, but those likes genuinely make a huge difference in getting this content out to more Lakers fans who need to stay updated on everything happening with this team. So seriously, just tap that like button real quick. It literally takes 1 second and it helps me out more than you know. I immediately shot up in bed wide awake with adrenaline pumping because I absolutely cannot ignore Lakers news no matter how tired I am or how late it is at night. So I grabbed my laptop from my desk, turned on my television, pulled up Sports Center on ESPN because I desperately needed to see and hear what the entire expert panel was saying and analyzing about this developing situation. And let me tell you, when that broadcast finally came on the screen, after what felt like forever, the entire crew assembled in the ESPN studio was engaged in this absolutely heated and animated debate and discussion about multiple interconnected storylines involving the Lakers that have genuinely serious implications and consequences for their championship hopes and aspirations this season. The analysts were going back and forth with so much genuine passion and intensity and conviction that you could literally feel the energy radiating through the television screen into my bedroom. And it was crystal clear they understood they were discussing something that could genuinely define and determine whether the Lakers make a deep, sustained playoff run or flame out in disappointing fashion yet again like they have in recent years. The way they were meticulously breaking down game film frame by frame, carefully analyzing rotations and lineup combinations, and discussing potential roster moves and trade scenarios had me completely locked in and focused for the next 2 solid hours straight, without even realizing how much time had actually passed, or that it was now past 1:30 a.m. Now here's where things get absolutely wild and fascinating, and I need to tell you comprehensively about what the Sports Center crew was emphasizing and stressing as their main central point of discussion that dominated the entire segment. Last night, everyone watching the game got to see the Los Angeles Lakers start a lineup of Austin Reeves at the point guard position, Luka Doncic at the shooting guard spot, Rui Hachimura at the small forward position, LeBron James at the power forward spot, and DeAndre Ayton anchoring the middle at center. And the panel was absolutely unanimous in their professional assessment that this starting unit was genuinely getting ran out of the building and dominated early in the game before the coaching staff made necessary adjustments and substitutions. The defensive performance was absolutely atrocious and embarrassing according to the detailed film breakdown that they showed with multiple clips, and the analysts kept repeatedly coming back to one specific player who they think represents the biggest fundamental problem with this starting lineup construction and roster-building philosophy. The Sports Center crew emphasized repeatedly, and I need to make this crystal clear because it's genuinely important for understanding their perspective. They absolutely love Rui Hachimura as a talented player and respect his offensive game and shooting ability tremendously, but they were completely adamant and insistent that you simply cannot start him in that critical small forward position alongside LeBron James and Luka Doncic if you genuinely want to compete for an NBA championship at the highest level. You just can't do it according to their expert professional analysis and years of basketball knowledge. Rui Hachimura absolutely has to come off the bench and embrace a sixth-man role where he can provide instant scoring punch and offensive firepower when he enters games, according to the panel. The analysts were genuinely hoping and openly speculating that maybe this questionable starting lineup decision was just a temporary familiarity thing where head coach J.J. Redick strategically wanted to ease LeBron James back into game action in his first game returning from injury by surrounding him with players he's comfortable with and has built substantial chemistry with over extended time playing together. They discussed extensively and in great detail how LeBron has played extensively with Luka Doncic for a while now and knows instinctively how to play off him and maximize their combined talents. He's played literally hundreds of games with Austin Reeves, and they have tremendous natural chemistry, where they know each other's tendency, and he's played well alongside Rui Hachimura, who understands how to play well off of LeBron's unique strengths and understands exactly when to cut hard to the basket and when to spot up for three-pointers when LeBron has the ball in his hands and is attacking. So the thinking and logic was, maybe J.J. Redick just wanted to give LeBron that immediate familiarity and comfort level in his first game back, rather than throwing him into a completely new and unfamiliar lineup dynamic that might take time to develop chemistry and understanding. If that's genuinely the case and the real reasoning behind this controversial decision, the panel said emphatically they're fine with it and have absolutely no problems or issues with that approach in the short term for a few games. But the SportsCenter analysts were very clear and direct about establishing firm boundaries here. Even if that familiarity explanation is completely accurate and true, they don't want to see this particular starting lineup continue for more than the next 2 games, or maybe the first small handful of games at absolute most, before making necessary changes. The crew emphasized strongly they don't want to overreact prematurely or get too overly critical of J.J. Redick or the Lakers' rotation decisions and lineup construction immediately without giving adequate time and patience for things to develop naturally. You're naturally going to be experimenting with different combinations and permutations. You're going to be trying different things to see what works best. And you're going to be trying to figure things out through trial and error and learning experience. That's just fundamentally how it works in the NBA, especially this early in the season when you've just gotten everybody back healthy and available after dealing with various injuries. The panel specifically noted that even Jared Vanderbilt, who's known for his elite defensive versatility, had a surprising DNP, did not play designation, which was genuinely surprising and confusing given his defensive abilities and how much the Lakers desperately need perimeter defense. The analysts said they're genuinely okay with being patient and just kind of letting things unfold naturally over the next several games before making definitive harsh judgments about J.J. Redick's coaching decisions. But here's where they drew a hard, unmovable line in the sand that they wouldn't compromise on. If Rui Hachimura is going to end up being the main guy and permanent fixture in that starting small forward spot long-term for the rest of the season, the Lakers absolutely have to trade him without hesitation. It's genuinely that simple and straightforward, according to the panel's firm assessment. They brought up something critically important that's not just subjective opinion, but verifiable documented fact that you can research and confirm through multiple sources. Rui Hachimura has historically in the past kind of checked out mentally and emotionally when he gets benched and demoted, taking it extremely personally and not handling that demotion well from a psychological or performance standpoint whatsoever. Now that previous problematic behavior occurred specifically under former head coach Darvin Ham's leadership and coaching style. And J.J. Redick is obviously a completely different coach with a totally different communication style and different relationship-building approach with players. It's also a fundamentally different team with different veteran leaders and a completely different organizational culture. The panel acknowledged fairly that Rui Hachimura himself has even publicly stated in interviews that he's okay coming off the bench, and that for him personally, it's just about the total minutes he accumulates and whether he's closing games in crucial fourth-quarter situations. The problem with that perspective, according to the Sports Center crew, is that usually and typically, your starters are the exact players you're going to close with in tight competitive games because they've built chemistry playing together. But now, let's transition to the absolutely explosive Klay Thompson trade speculation that could genuinely solve all these problems simultaneously. Currently circulating around NBA circles and being discussed in front offices are genuine substantive rumors about the possible departure of future Hall of Famer Klay Thompson from the Dallas Mavericks, with the organization actively and aggressively exploring various trade options after what's been a genuinely disappointing and concerning start to the 2025-26 season that's fallen well below expectation. Klay Thompson was also recently moved to the bench and removed from the starting lineup by head coach Jason Kidd, which signals serious organizational concerns about his fit and performance. The motivations behind these persistent Klay Thompson trade rumors include his genuinely poor initial performance this season. The strategic move to the bench occurred after a legitimately weak start, where his shooting percentages were down. And although Klay Thompson has shown some improvement recently over the last several games, the frustrating lack of consistency worries Dallas executives. There's also the significant salary consideration that factors heavily, with an annual salary of $16.7 million guaranteed money and performance output below expectations for a veteran of his caliber. The Mavericks are seriously evaluating whether Klay Thompson is worth the continued investment, especially considering their potential future timeline with developing rookie Cooper Flagg. The dismissal of general manager Nico Harrison shortly after the Anthony Davis trade has created widespread expectation that new leadership might want to reformulate the roster. Despite his irregular, inconsistent phase, there's still genuine interest from other franchises in Klay Thompson, primarily competitive teams seeking an experienced championship shooter, though his market value has declined. For the Lakers specifically, acquiring Klay Thompson would provide exactly what they desperately need: elite perimeter shooting, championship experience, defensive versatility. So that was the comprehensive Sports Center breakdown of the Lakers' crisis and how Klay Thompson could be the solution.